Hello, this is the AP Stats Quideo 3 AP problem, brought to you by Peyton Wood. Are you ready to learn? Let's get to it. The problem. When a tractor pulls a plow through an agricultural field, the energy needed to pull that plow is called draft. The draft is affected by environmental conditions such as soil type, terrain, and moisture. A study was conducted to determine whether a newly developed hitch would be able to reduce draft compared to the standard hitch. A hitch is used to connect the plow to the tractor. Two large plots of land were used in this study. It was randomly determined which plot was to be plowed using the standard hitch. As the tractor plowed that plot, a measurement device on the tractor automatically recorded the draft at 25 randomly selected points in the plot. After the plot was plowed, the hitch was changed from the standard one to a new one, a process that takes a substantial amount of time. Then, the second plot was plowed using the new hitch. 25 measurements of draft were also recorded at randomly selected points in this plot. Now, moving on to Part A. Part A. What was the response variable in this study? Identify the treatments, and what were the experimental units? The response variable was the draft measured, the two treatments were the standard hitch and the new hitch, and the experimental units were the two large plots of land. Part B. Given that the goal of the study is to determine whether a newly developed hitch reduces draft compared to the standard hitch, was randomization used properly in this study? Justify your answer. I would say yes, randomization was used properly. The plows with the two different treatments, or hitches, were randomly assigned to experimental units. Part C. Given that the goal of the study is to determine whether a newly developed hitch reduces draft compared to the standard hitch, was this time replication used properly in this study? Justify your answer. I would say no. Each treatment was only used on one of the experimental units, and therefore not properly replicated in the experiment. And lastly, D. Plot of land is a confounding variable in this experiment. Explain why. The reason it's confounding is that when looking at the data, you cannot tell whether the plot of land used or the hitch used is the cause of a change in draft, therefore confounding those two variables. In conclusion, in Part A, we've decided the response variable was draft, the treatments were the new and standard hitches, the experimental units were the two large plots of lands. In Part B, we said yes, this was randomization. In Part C, we said there was no replication. In Part D, we said they're confounding because you cannot prove causation with either variable.
Created using Powtoon.